Hey guys, what's up, iFlynn here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new shotgun known as the Phantasma. Now, this is the shotgun that came along with Revenant. It is a status beam shotgun that has two firing modes. We have the beam firing mode, which is pretty good, and then we also have like a blob firing mode. If you look up in the sky and fire it, I have multi-shot on, you can actually shoot 2 or 3 blobs into the sky. Now there's the 3 of them right there. They're kind of just jumbled up, and then once these blobs hit the ground, they actually like let out little like homing like projectiles that'll seek out enemies and deal damage to them as well. So it's basically a really good like status spreading shotgun that has pretty good DPS, and it's limited by the fact, kind of the balancing factor is the fact that it has a very, very low magazine size, right? So it's not like you're just going to be dealing like a ton of DPS, but what makes it really good is the fact that it also has a pretty quick reload speed as well. So your DPS is just kind of interrupted a little bit. So it's a very damaging shotgun, at least in my opinion. And yeah, it only takes 2 Forma to make really good. And to get it to 100% status, you need 3 dual stat elemental mods. Now, this could be changed if you had the likes of a Revenant, for example. So if you had a Revenant on here, you could replace the dual stat elemental mods with 90%, because then that way you're getting the full 100% status, and then you're also going to be getting the extra 30% damage from all of your 90% elemental damage mods, right? So if you get a Revenant and you get status chance damage multi-shot or something like that, you are going to have a very beefy status shotgun. So you know, it's just a pretty insane shotgun. So this is my build. I have Prime Point Blank, Vigilante Armaments, and Hell's Chamber on here, as well as Blaze for base damage. Blaze also gives heat damage, which is pretty good. But then we're making Corrosive using Toxic Barrage, Shell Shock to give us our Corrosive, then Scattering Inferno and Blaze just for the heat, and then I'm giving myself a little bit more Corrosive, making it kind of my most procced element by using Contagious Spread and giving myself another 90% toxin. Now, what you could do is you could make a Radiation Viral build as well. So what you would do to do that is you would make, let's see, Prime Point Blank. You would give yourself your Hell's Chamber. You would give yourself your, what's it called? Your Blaze. You would also put on the likes of, where is my, what's it called? Shell Shock. There we go. You would put on your Toxic Barge. Let's just go ahead and throw on Chilling Grass for our Viral. So if you go out, you see you have your Radiation and Viral combo. Your Radiation is more likely to proc over your Viral, but it doesn't really matter if Radiation is proccing more than Viral, because Viral can only really proc once, and then that's kind of the effect there, if that makes any sense. So like, once your Viral procs, it's going to be halving the enemy's health. So it doesn't matter if we're proccing it like a lot, as long as it procs whenever we're holding down our trigger, right? That's what makes you know, the weapon super good. So what have I got? I need to go ahead and throw on my what's it called? We could actually, never mind. Okay, I'm talking on my ass here. We need to throw on our Scattering Inferno to give us even more radiation and put us up to that 100%. And then let me just go ahead and take a look. Vigilante Armaments is what I was missing, and then once that goes on, that bumps up our numbers even more. And then there we have Radiation Viral, which is really, really good, right? So that's the 2 builds that I'd run on this shotgun. Let's just go ahead and test it out versus a level 155 heavy gunner. So we're gonna go ahead and pause them, because we don't get any damage bonus versus enemies who are paused if you're using an alarming shotgun, because that only works for melee. So yeah, let's just go ahead and test it out. So you can see that we're stripping away the enemy's armor, and as we strip away the enemy's armor, like, they take a buttload of damage. You also have the impact procs there, which knocks them back, which is kind of meh. But that was the beam firing mode. Now let's go ahead and swap to the alt fire, which is the blob, right? So the blob will let out these homing projectiles that'll go back and hit the enemies again most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know where I'm really going. So you kind of have to be hitting it like beside the enemies to get it to work. Use it kind of like an AoE and not like directly impact, otherwise they'll fly away sometimes, unless they like pass an enemy whenever they're, you know, going away type of thing. So it's not like they have the best tracking in the world. They're not really that reliable, but if you're like shooting it into a grip, chances are it's going to go back. Like, let's just go ahead and shoot it into this grip. You know, it's going to go back and it's going to like find the enemies or multiple enemies and you just apply all those status procs and stuff like that. And then go ahead and, you know, kill them. And then they're going to be dead, which is fun, right? So let's go ahead and test versus alloy armor, because we have a pretty much mainly radiation build. So we're going to be spawning in, oops, that's my Revenant. We're going to be spawning in our bombards, right? Because they have alloy armor, and alloy armor takes more damage versus radiation. So if we go ahead and go for the bombards, like so, let's go ahead for corrupt the bombards, because why not? Get our ammo and our energy, because why not? And then hold down our left click, and you see that we deal pretty good damage. Now, we're not stripping away the enemy's armor with this one. We're just reducing their health with viral. And then because we have the radiation damage on there, they're taking pretty hefty damage, which is pretty awesome. It's pretty good. So, yeah. You can actually hit... I think that's hitting some people through the other enemies. So, yeah, I'm actually hitting the heavy gunners through one another there. So, that's kind of cool. Now, let's try out the blob. The blob is just going to go ahead and apply the radiation effect. So, it's a good, like, status applier weapon, and it has good damage to kind of back it up. Now, it's not, like, the most damaging weapon in the game, and I wouldn't really compare this to the likes of, you know, the Tigris Prime, for example, because status on a pellet-like shotgun compared to status on a beam-like shotgun are two completely different things. Like, with a Tigris, the reason that you're looking for 100% status or 100% status before multi-shot is because that makes it so every single pellet is going to apply a status effect, right? So you could apply multiple slash procs with one pull of the trigger with a Tigris Prime and deal massive damage that way, where with this beam weapon, it doesn't really work like that because it doesn't fire pellets, right? So that's the big difference there. And I had a lot of people like asking me, well, you know, what's better now, the Phantasma or the Tigris Prime? And I'm like, that doesn't work like that at all. So that's just something that I felt like throwing out there. But other than that, I guess the only other thing that we can really do is strip away enemy armor and then try the radiation viral build. And I think I do have, yeah, I do have enough strength on here. So I can try the radiation viral build versus an enemy that doesn't have any armor. So let's just go ahead and spawn in. I guess we can spawn in 5 heavy gunners and then spawn in 5 bombards. That'll, you know, make a decent amount of sense. So go ahead, spawn in these guys. Awesome. Simulate. And then jump over and do the stuff and things. So let's see if we strip from those guys and then just go ahead, hold down the trigger. Now, they die pretty fast because there's no, like, reduction to your damage because of the armor that they have, right? So whenever you compare it, you see that they take a hell of a lot less damage because they have that armor, which is reducing the total damage that you deal. So stripping away enemy armor using 4 times cruiser projection or whatever is worth it pretty much all the time. So let's just go ahead and strip it away from these bombards right here. And then you'll see that they die omega fast because we have that radiation damage on there. So they're just dying instantly quick, where this is him with armor and he's not doing, or he's not dying as fast, right? So yeah, there's that. But other than that, that's really it for the Phantasma. I guess we can go ahead and test the blob on it as well, because why not? So if we kill these guys and then simulate them again, we can strip away their armor and then use the blob against them, see how fast they die. So here we go. So it's a decent chunk of health per blob that you shoot out. You also notice that I was getting an orange crit there, which is kind of weird. I'm not too sure why that's happening. Like, I don't have a crit kitty on or anything. But let's go ahead and strip away the armor from these bombards and then see how much damage we deal. So we more or less, if you direct impact, you one-shot. So that's a thing. Heh. So again, I have no idea why those orange crits are happening. We'll actually have to go ahead, take a look at the stats again and see why that's a thing, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the crit chance in this shotgun is actually pretty low. That's my Ash again. I do that all the time. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. So we have critical chance of 3% on the beam, but it was the secondary fire. Critical chance of 3%. So I have no idea why we're hitting orange crits. That's kind of weird. Like, I don't have a crit kitty on at all. So, heh. Interesting, right? Weird. I have no crit mods whatsoever, and I'm just getting orange crits for no reason. Granted, they're not like insanely huge orange crits, but that's happening. Might be bugged. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, impact, radiation, viral. And then if we go to the corrosive one, we have heat, impact, radiation, corrosive. So you have a plethora of elements on there. Some might say that's a good thing. Others might say that's a bad thing. If you're fighting ferrite armor, then your corrosive plus heat is going to do you wonders. Radiation and impact might pull you back a little bit. But the radiation on there to make enemies fight one another is good kind of for CC, I guess. And then the impact on there, I think impact's just really annoying. So maybe on a Riven, minus impact, maybe. I don't know. But, because then you would be proccing nothing but your elements, right? So you could do like, let's say a gas build, right? So let's see if we can actually pull that off. So if we did, what's it called? Let's do Scattering Inferno plus Toxic Barrage, which gives us our gas damage. And then we threw on our Blaze, because why not? We get our Prime Point Blank. We get our Hell's Chamber. There it is. We have our Vigilante Armaments, like that. So we have Scattering Inferno, Toxic Barrage, and then we can mod for another element if we wanted to. What could we throw on, actually? We could just kind of up our... I couldn't up the radiation, so it'd be Frigid Blast. It would be Frigid Blast, and then, like... So that's gas and cold. And then we could go ahead and we could throw on something like Scattering Inferno. We need to like throw on, where's it at? Contagious Spread to give us more gas so that procs more consistently. So then if you were to try to fight versus like a Corpus enemy, so let's take the Corpus Tech for example. Where are we at? Whoop, whoop. This guy. Spawn in a bunch of these dudes. And then go over to these guys and shoot them. The gas procs is going to kill them omega fast, right? So they die extremely quickly, and you're not even, like, dealing a lot of damage to their shields. So it might be worth using this if you were stripping away armor as well, because then you're dealing, like, direct damage to their health, and it's a damage over time, right? So let's go ahead and spawn in the heavy gunners and stuff again. We spawn in 5 of these dudes. Kill the rest of these, and then 5 of the bombards, like so. Simulate. Strip away their armor. And you see that we deal pretty good damage to these guys as well. But then whenever they have the armor, it's kind of meh. Strip away the armor, and that changes extremely quickly. So yeah. Just a few different builds that you could use on your Phantasma to kind of mess around, play with it. You know, I think it's a really solid weapon. I think it's worth picking up. You get it from the market. Not too sure what the crafting requirements are, but in my opinion, it's a pretty solid weapon. Pretty good weapon. Pick it up, get it, use it. It's fun. The only real downsides I would say are the range, and then also the what's it called? The low magazine size, but you can get some pretty good ribbons for it. It's a free disposition, so if you get pretty good rolls, then, you know, you're basically in there, like status, chance, damage, multi-shot, etc., maybe elements or something. You know, you have yourself like a pretty good build going there, but, you know, there's a multitude of different ways to build this or build it around a Riven, so I think it's worth picking up. Definitely get it. It's a fun weapon. It's got the 2 different firing modes, and also I think the whole, like... Oh, I just killed myself. 1 dirt per video. But, yeah, the whole, like, pretty particles is super cool as well. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.